Good morning, everyone. It is Friday. Hope you had enjoyed our clubhouse, the Breakfast of Champions at 6 a.m. Pacific. Catching office hours, 5 p.m. Pacific. Now we're on Instagram Live, and guess what happens in 3 hours from now? Free training. That's right. This week's training is on networking, social media, especially Clubhouse. We're going to pin up here. If you haven't registered for training, please do. 949-298-2905 to join our text community. David at dmeltzer.com if you want the exercises, guides, and books for free. As Mikey likes to say, let's go. We'll take some questions in here. They're already coming in. Thank you so much. What do you think of shopping with coupons? Why not? I think determined upon how long it takes you to find the coupon. If it has more value than the time that it takes to find it, you're in like Flynn. You might as well do that. So absolutely, anytime you can save money, you should do so. You could always give it to somebody else. Let's see what other questions are in here. Keep the questions coming. Good morning, everybody. Mike, welcome, everybody here. All right, we'll go back in. The questions are coming. How do I get noticed by my higher end prospects in lieu of the COVID environment? Well, first of all, it's not a matter of getting noticed. It's connecting to, right? Your higher end prospects hopefully have some awareness of you. So we need to ask a certain series of questions in person, on the phone, via email, or media, radio, print, TV, social media. Doesn't matter. You need to stay in consistent contact and awareness with them in order to, one, be noticed, but more importantly, to connect to, right? We want to have the credibility, but also the emotional connection so that we have an opportunity to do what? That's right, articulate quantifiable value to exceed what we're asking for. It's that simple. It's just as easy as 1, 2, 3. Very good. Any new lessons from Clubhouse this morning? The lesson that really has come across is the unfathomable nature of how large the audience is. I used to say that people can't fathom how big infinity is, and I encourage people to just to spend one instant between infinity and limitlessness. But even moreover, a subset of that is how incredibly large the opportunity is with the unfathomable size of the accessible audience with no barrier of entry. This has disrupted the entire nuance of almost every industry. Absolutely, the lesson of the day for me is how unfathomably large the subset of infinity is, which is the internet. How do you determine your own quantitative value? Well, you got to know your values. And for you, your values would include your capabilities. And so I put a quantitative value on my skills of what I do, my knowledge, and that knowledge is what and who, and then also my desire. All right, I'm going to let my friend in here a little bit early. This should be a unique live treasure gems. Treasure Thompson, here she comes. And we'll talk about healing in a unique aspect. There she is. Good morning.
Good morning, David. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for joining me.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
Well, we talk about healing all the time. And the concept of healing for me is that we are already healed beings. We just have to see what interferes with that healing, what we eat, environment, air, viruses, whatever it may be, is interfering with what is a perfect connection to healing and to potential. Now, you have some unique ways for women to create healing and to lessen the interference to that pure feeling and healing that they have. Explain to our audience exactly what yoni eggs are and how they work.
Okay. Well, yes, I am a healer by nature. Like this was something that just fell into my lap and kind of most definitely aligned within myself. So what I do is I I want to specifically say that I am a feminine healer. So I call myself the yoniologist, which pretty much has everything to do with the yoni. So, which is the center of our bodies, our womb. Most women, they harbor all of their past life traumas and different things of that such within their body. So we naturally have been taught since we were young to actually just whatever you're feeling, just put it kind of behind you. So what I want to do is, as we are getting older, I want to put out the platform for women to actually have these uncomfortable conversations about the pains and traumas that they have went through in their life, and instead of pushing them down and actually hiding them, to actually get them out, because that's how you heal. You heal from talking, from actually getting your story out, and from people relating to it. You never know. Like, I really genuinely feel as though if you have healed from something as a woman, it's our duty to make sure the next sister or someone else doesn't heal from this, doesn't hurt from the same traumas. So with the yoni eggs can be placed inside of your body, or they can be placed on the outside of your body in your bra. They're crystals, natural crystal energy, which just channels and aligns you within yourself.
It's awesome. And you mentioned past lives, and I'm a firm believer in past lives. And when people ask me why I believe in past lives, I always tell them because I can't prove either way whether there's a past life or not. And
Right.
and for me, the more positive way of looking at it is if I have a choice, this is it, or I have multiple lifetimes, I'm choosing multiple lifetimes.
Of
For you,
course.
yeah, for you, how do you explain to your friends that may be more closed-minded that you believe in past lives and these traumas and quantum memories carry forward to our actual being into this lifetime?
I put a timeline together. I want everyone to understand that there's nothing that actually happens in your life that is by chance. Everything that is set before you, you have two different paths. You have the right way and you have the wrong way. A lot of, and this is where our choices and decisions in our life actually come to the light. We can decide to take the wrong path, which sometimes it can be a little rocky, and then we can sit and we can go the right path, which it may not be as appetizing to a whole lot of people. It may be a little bit rougher on the edges, but that's actually the way that you are supposed to go. And when you go that way, you see the results, you see the success, you see the fruitful life that you actually are seeking. A whole lot of people, they don't understand that the things that you have put yourself through, or the things that you have survived from, set your future. Like, that's exactly how you have to look at it. And if you can overcome them, you can overcome anything. You have to sit and you have to really believe those things as well.
I love that because it totally aligns with my philosophy of pain, right? Pain, a lot of people see as a stop sign. They don't know why they're a victim of pain. And where for me, it's always been an indicator that I have lessons to learn. And that
Exactly.
and it's a turn signal, right? It's telling me, like you said, you have two choices. It's telling me, hey, I think there's a better path for you to take. Here's an indicator. Here's some pain to learn a lesson so that you can move in a better place, a better direction, a better situation, or make your situation better. Now, you wrote a book, Healing Your Yoni with Treasure Gems, a beginner's guide to self-healing with yoni eggs and yoni yoga, external and internal healing. But through that guide, can anybody pick it up and learn step by step? Does the guide take you through that?
Most definitely. The book is extremely beginner friendly. I wrote the book as if I am having a conversation. So I did not want the book to go over anybody's head. I wanted you to be able to actually sit, read it, and it would be like you're having a conversation with a friend. I'm actually talking a lot of the times in third person throughout the book. I specifically put in order of how to do specific things, how to align yourself, and I put in specific because a lot of things that I do, I also implement the yoga within everything that I do. So it's a combination of the two that I actually put into the book. It's very easy to read. It's a beginner's guide.
And how long have you been in the yoni practice yourself?
My business, I established it. It went live in November of 2016. I was researching for, I'm gonna say about 10 months to a year prior. So I started researching and fell in love with my practice and doing what I wanted to do back in 2015. But come the end of 2016, I was a full blown healer. I've already got my life coaching certification. So it's a full alignment for me. It's a lifestyle.
And for you, obviously, you had to heal yourself as well. What was one of the things that you learned about yourself when you first started the practice that excited you about teaching other people?
Well, actually, I didn't initially want to teach people. I was just actually telling my story. I was consistently telling my friends. I lived a night style lifestyle at the time. I was a entertainer, exotic entertainer. So I was trying to get away from the nightlife. My children were growing older. I just didn't want to be 30 in the strip club. That just wasn't my goal in life. I wanted to know what was there else for me. So to heal myself and the yoni eggs, a whole lot of them, they have natural prosperities, which remove addictions. And that nightlife, it was an addiction for me. And I couldn't really believe that I was really detaching from it. So became more of a testimony for myself. And as I was sharing my testimony to everybody, everybody was like, well, wow, well, how does this happen? Well, how does this happen? And then everyone was like, well, maybe you should actually sell them. You're really good. You're very knowledgeable. And then I was like, well, hey, maybe I kind of am a little knowledgeable. And then I was like, well, this is something I want everybody to know about. So that's how it became a dream come true, literally.
That's awesome. And it's never too late to learn and to heal, which is
Never.
incredible. So, where can people find you and the Yoni system in your book? Where can people find you?
You can find my book on Amazon. If you hit the link tree in my bio, everything that I'm attached to from my website, treasuregems.com, my Yoni yoga classes here in LA, everything that I do, you can hit my link tree and you will be right attached to me.
That is awesome. Check it out at MZ Treasure as well, Gems, GEMZ, correct?
Yes.
And,
Yes.
I'm reading the book because I'm just curious exactly in all healing methodologies, how and what I can learn to apply it even to my own life. And of course, all of the different feminine energies and feminine people that I know to recommend
Of
you to.
course.
I love alternative holistic ways to heal. And you're obviously proven in your own lifestyle what we can do internally and externally in our lives with the
Yes.
right type of healing. Thank you so much for all you do for everyone. Check
Thank
out
you.
my friend Treasure Thompson. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Great job. Thank you, Treasure. There she is. All right. You learn something every day. I had no idea about Yoni and Yoni Yoga. But check it out, the Treasure Gems. She obviously has great healing power, and we've learned some great healing lessons. Let's take a couple questions as we're coming forward. Thank you so much, everyone. Remember, training's at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Join us on Clubhouse for the Q&A section, as well as IG Live and Facebook and LinkedIn. Everywhere you can join us, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, or join our text community, 949-298-2905. Generally speaking, what's something you'd suggest someone to do if they're feeling stuck in life? First of all, be happy where you're at. I love people that are stuck. If you're stuck, that means you're growing, healing, and you are outgrowing what you're in. And so I always say lean in when you're stuck. Don't alter what you're doing. Lean into what you're doing by taking inventory of your values, finding people to help you, studying and paying attention and intention to what you do, doing things now. Have lenses of productivity, accessibility. How productive are you? How efficient, statistically successful are you, and can you become? How accessible are you to others, and how are you accessing what you want? And most importantly, that lens of gratitude for the activities that you have planned, finding the light, the love, and the lessons in it, the activity you don't have planned, and most importantly, believe it or not, your sleep. Which leads me to my next guest, who I saw slipping by there. Dr. Meeta Singh, the famous sleep doctor for the world champion nationals and many, many other many, many other teams, leagues, organizations, and my sleep doctor, changing my life, allowing me to plateau and grow, bringing her on here. Uh, you wonder why the Houston Astros won 4 road games? Because they slept well and they were maximizing their potential. We are waiting here for Dr. Mita. All right. I am looking. For some reason, it's not connecting. Let's try it again. Uh, Let me see here real quickly. Huh. All right. I got Mita here, but it would not connect again. This must be that. There we go.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
You know me and technology. It took me a little
Yes.
minute, to figure it out.
I'm jealous. You have a cooler background than me.
You're right.
You're right. How are you? It's so good to see you.
So good to see you too, David.
Well, everyone, this is Dr. Mita Singh. She is the incredible sleep doctor for so many people, but especially athletes and executives like myself. You know, there's so many different things that I've learned about sleep from you and from other people who work with you, as I recommend everyone to you because of the extraordinary help. Here's my new philosophy after everything I've learned, that sleep is the most important activity that we have because it's devoid of ego-based consciousness. So it allows us to truly, if we set up our sleep correctly, to heal, to rejuvenate, to accelerate, to grow, to plateau. And the story that most resonates with me about sleep is the myth of Sisyphus, Camus' Stranger, because I see without effective sleep people living this life where they push a boulder up to the top of the hill all day long and then it just rolls back to the bottom or even below. Like your bottom can have a basement if you're not sleeping well. You can go below where you were the day before. What are some of the things, basic things that people can do to sleep better?
Well, so I would say, first of all, you're absolutely right. Sleep touches everything. It touches everything, right? And although we live in this world where we really want to perform at our level best during the day, well, the best, sleeping is going to get you there. And I would say concentrate on just 3 things. The first is the quantity of sleep, right? So the average adult needs about 7 to 9 hours to function well. And if you're getting less than 6 hours on a regular basis, there are going to be deficits and you're not going to be aware of them, which is really bad. The second thing, of course, is the quality. I mean, you want to make sure it takes you less than half an hour to fall asleep. You sleep really efficiently, so you sleep about 85% of the time that you are in bed. You want the bedroom to be cold and dark, and you don't want electronics. You don't want to be on Instagram live while you're trying to sleep. And the third, of course, is the timing of sleep. You want to make sure you get to sleep as much as possible in alignment to your circadian rhythms. Yes.
And it's funny because I've shifted my entire philosophy in life because of you, where I say all the time to people that my tomorrow starts today, that I created an unwinding routine to make sure that all of these things are set and aligned with what I'm doing. But beyond too, I keep negative energies and stressful situations, conversations outside of that time for me. And so I'm trying to regulate. But the one thing that I want to ask you about is that, and someone said, "Oh, Dave looks sleepy." That's because I didn't get my normal sleep last night because I broke my own rules. But I can see the difference. I'm looking at myself going, "Yeah, I do look sleepy." More importantly, though, do you believe it's genetically possible to need less sleep than other people, or is it biochemically impossible that everyone needs 7 to 9 hours or at least 6?
Well, that's a good question. Of course, there's human variability, right? I mean, so some people do need less, some people need more. There is a particular genetic phenotype. There are some people who need less sleep. They're very rare. In most cases, when you're not getting enough sleep, it's because you're not making time for it. So,
what physical manifestations do we have? I know you told me a few. because I didn't sleep enough when we first met.
Right.
And you gave me a few examples. Does this happen? Does this happen? Does this happen? How can people know physically if they're sleeping enough? What are some of the symptoms if you're not getting enough sleep?
Well, so one way to tell would be do you feel tired or exhausted during the day? Because if you do, that means you're not getting enough sleep. The other way would be if if ever you're sleeping longer on your days off as compared to what you're getting on a regular basis. So if every weekend you're spending 12 hours in bed and on during the weekday you're getting only 5 hours, well, you are not getting enough sleep on a regular basis. So that would be another way. You know, if you can't get through the day without drinking gallons of coffee or caffeine intake, it means you're getting less sleep. The only problem with when you get less sleep on a regular basis, your self-awareness of how sleepy you are actually gets messed up, and so you might not be aware of it. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. So if you're ever in a quiet, boring, dull situation and you fall asleep without intending to, so if you're falling asleep, if you're sitting reading or watching TV, that's another sign that you may not be getting enough sleep.
Well, and if people don't realize how valuable sleep is, not only just in our mental awareness and our capabilities that we need all day long, but the physical performance side. You work with so many world-class athletes. In fact, not only am I jealous of your background because it looks so cool, but you have something that I have on my bucket list, which a lot of people ask me, what could be on Dave Meltzer's bucket list that he hasn't, experienced? And that's, you have a World Series ring.
I do. Yes, yes, I do.
How'd you get a World Series ring and I don't have one?
Well, because we need to start teaming up and working with teams together then.
That's right.
What we want to do, right? So yeah, I was very lucky, and I was working. I did work with the Nationals the year that they won the World Series, and have a ring to show for it.
And they won all 4 road games for the first time in history,
right?
Which was very significant. And how do you think sleep played a role in road games, or how does it play a role for those executives like myself? When we met, I was traveling 200 days a year, so it was like being a professional athlete. How does sleep affect you when you're traveling like that?
So, when you're playing at that elite level, or when you're, when you're in the role of a leader, really you have to be, your competitors are as good as you. And so you're always looking for that one thing that might give you an extra edge, and sleep is that. And so, speaking about the Nationals, we made sure that after they won, even when they were winning games, or even if they lost a game in the postseason, they would spend the night wherever they were. They'd get a full night of sleep and then travel the next day. So, and that made made a difference.
It makes a huge difference, and you made a huge difference in my life. And we should team up and work with more teams and win more championships for sure. I do refer everyone, if anyone wants to know how to increase your productivity, your accessibility, and your gratitude, Dr. Mita is the best in the world. And those 3 things to me are essential to what most people say. How do you stay so inspired? How do you stay so motivated? How are you so productive? I'm telling you, the number 1 activity in my life is sleep. And the way I warm up to sleep is through the methodologies and things that you've taught me, what I call my unwinding routine at 9 p.m. So I can make sure that I'm up and rested by 4 a.m. every morning, although I was up at 2:30 this morning because I have so much going on. And it was apropos that you came on. Where can people reach out and find you and get your help, Dr. Mita?
Well, so I do have a website. It's mitasinghmd.com. But then Instagram, I am on Twitter. It's AthleteSleepMD1. And then I am on LinkedIn too.
Cannot miss you. I can't wait to see you in person. You look wonderful. You look well rested.
So do you.
Thank you so much. It's so great to see you. Let's do this again, okay?
Yes, for sure.
Thank you. The incredible Dr. Mita Singh. If you have any trouble sleeping, or you want to get better at sleeping, you want to be more productive, accessible, and gracious in your life, Mita Singh MD, I think she said 1, at Mita Singh MD 1, or mitasinghmd.com. I'm sorry, Athlete Sleep MD. one, but make sure you check it out. I see Adam is here already, and he has a great vision. I had to bring him on. He is the founder of I always say his last name wrong, Chilka Network, and the member of the coaching group. And here he is. Adam, welcome.
Excellent. Hey, how we doing?
I am doing great. I had to have you on because I love your vision. I call it the planting seeds under trees we may never sit under vision. It's a really big ask, a big vision with an aligned a passion of yours. And it could not come at a better time because our kids need a place to be empowered, inspired, and to be healthy. And you've come up with, I think, an extraordinary model to help our children in all aspects of their life. Why don't you share with us what you're doing right now?
Great. Yes. And I'm doing the book reveal. So the box of books came from the publisher, and I chatted with you earlier this week, and you said, "Yeah, let's do it on Instagram Live." So I have it here. And I thought, I have to show that I didn't open it yet. So
how many days did we have to wait? 2 days or 1 day?
So it was hard to wait 4 days, and I have it.
4 days. Oh no. Oh my gosh. I know I felt bad after I told you, hey, let's reveal it live. And meanwhile, you get your first box of books and you wait 50 days to a better life. You wrote in 2019. What's the name of this book?
So this is 50 Days to a Better Investment. Invest in the Chilka Network. Support Black and brown girls and boys.
And it was inspired by one of our best mentors, right?
Yes, Wayne Dyer.
A little Dr. Wayne Dyer in there. Look at this. This is the first book reveal we've ever done here on Instagram Live, which is incredible. So everyone, while we're waiting, don't forget, training today at 11 a.m. Pacific. Join us again. We're going to talk about networking. And talking about networking, here's 50 days to a better investment. Invest in the Chilka Network. Support Black and brown girls and boys.
Wow. All right.
Looks good, man. Where can people find it?
And it's on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Walmart.com. Yeah.
Everywhere. Nice.
Wow.
You gonna send me a signed copy?
I will. Yes, for sure.
And what are some of the key lessons in the 50 days to a better investment?
Right. So it's my vision for this great company. It's like my ask to the universe. These ideas came in meditations and prayers over a 5-year period. I started writing this back in 2015 after the fatal shooting of Mike Brown, Ferguson, Missouri. Remember Ferguson? I was so upset about racism, and I had a really big idea, like, can I end racism in America? And that was like too big, because there's systemic racism and there's structural racism, and you could write a PhD dissertation on like how to begin to dismantle racism. It's like too big. And so slowly I started writing ideas and plans. I thought I was going to build a school or like a youth center for music, so it became a hip hop dance studio. And I thought, how many can I do over the next 20 years? And I thought, yes, 14. So I got that number for some reason, and so I'm building 14 hip hop dance studios in 14 major American cities. These are Boston, New York, Philly, DC, Baltimore, Atlanta, Charlotte, Chicago, Detroit, up to LA, over to Houston, Memphis, Birmingham, and Jackson, Mississippi.
That's so good. I love people that not only have a vision, but take action. And, how many times did you have thoughts that you were crazy, or did other people, including yourself, have those types of thoughts?
I know, right? It's been like interesting going public with it, because I realized I had to, it's been in my head for 5 years. I really didn't think it was going to be a book, by the way. It was just kind of like business plans, like a vision, like how do I build the McDonald's of hip hop dance studios for Black and brown girls, young women of color. I looked in the Boston area. We didn't really have any that were like big and robust and, to be able to support, because it has to be free or low cost or affordable. It has to be, I want to build them in our Black and brown neighborhoods, so it's convenient for the moms and dads. And I have a whole structure to say, then how can we also pay for the dancers' college scholarships? So it could be sort of like Paul Newman's, Newman's own Paul Newman's the pizza and the salad dressing.
Yeah.
And it says on the Newman's own pizza, it says 100% goes to charity. Right. So I realized, I'm like, okay, I could just build a great company and all the money goes to the girls go to build more dance studios, and then let's pay for college scholarships.
And you yourself had to re-engineer your own life, and you used reading and philosophy to fix yourself or heal yourself. And today's kind of theme is throughout healing, as we had, Dr. Meeta Singh and Treasure, and now you. Would you mind sharing that story with us of how you healed yourself and how that has impacted, you and motivated and inspired you to carry it forward to your dance studios?
Yes, thank you. So it was a couple years ago, 5 years ago, I developed a drinking problem. That was in my late 30s. So I became a drunk, an alcoholic, right? And by the grace of God, I discovered Wayne Dyer and read all of Wayne Dyer's books and listened to all of his lectures. And I discovered the soul within. So for me, it was spiritual. I discovered that spirit and realized I needed to listen to it and let it guide me. And I started daily meditations, and that's what helped get me sober, and still do daily meditations. And I think, a lot of the meditation world, some people only talk about being mindful, but for me, it was all spiritual. So I try to make conscious contact with God. I try to allow God to come through. And so I feel like a vessel of the universe. I feel like an instrument of God.
And that helps you with the confidence that although you're dedicating your life into a large, big vision, but you also have faith that it'll happen at the right way at the perfect time, which is a rarity because most people, it needs to happen right away. And yet, knowing you and your vision, you're very clear that it will happen in the right way at the perfect time. How have you been able to balance not only the persistence that it's taken to overcome the negativity and those types of interferences, but more importantly, the bigger picture of how to allow things to happen?
Right. Well, I learned so much from Wayne Dyer. There was so much wisdom that I changed. I went through a classic midlife crisis, but then also it was a major personal transformation in which I got on a path of enlightenment and realized God within. So there's God within all of us, and it's just about that. You just have to allow it to flow through. And so sometimes we get in our own way. I knew that I needed to stick to those things because I know you say certain phrases that really, ring true and keep you on what's right and good. And so for me, I knew that I needed to keep advancing confidently in the direction of my dreams. And that comes from, Henry David Thoreau and Emerson, the transcendentalists. They said, I love that quote, if you can advance confidently in the direction of your dreams, you will meet with a success unexpected in common hours.
I love that. And that's what people do. They achieve things unexpectedly through the mathematical equation of luck, right? What we pay attention to and what we give intention to equals those coincidences that happen in uncommon hours, meaning more rapidly and accurately than we ever thought. Now you're holding up the book. Give us the last lesson or the last thought.
Sure. Well, I'll say that the universe works in mysterious ways. So I'm doing awesome networking online. I'm on Clubhouse and Instagram, and you can find amazing people that are willing to go Instagram live with you like you're doing today. And I thought if I could just go Instagram live with a new friend every day. So if anyone out there in your audience wants to do Instagram live with me, that would help me, talk about the book and the mission. I realized, somebody is going to say, oh yeah, my aunt is Patti LaBelle, or oh yeah, my mom's best friend is Gladys Knight. And, suddenly we're in a conversation and Adam, here you go. Here's a check for $4 million. Let's do this. Let's do these. I love it. Let's build it.
You're ready for a touch of favor. That's why I wanted you to come on here, and let's put it out there right now with a full intention to have someone with a touch of favor help to escalate and accelerate your vision in uncommon hours. Thank you for patiently waiting to reveal your book on my Instagram live. What a compliment to me and our community. I see Christina there. So happy for you as well. She's in our private coaching group, which you're such an extraordinary member of. And I know both of us are getting so much out of working together, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. I know people can find that book everywhere on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and Walmart.com, but where can they find you?
Right. So the new company is at chakanetwork.com. But really, I'm strong on Instagram and Clubhouse, Adam Chaka. That's Adam_Chaka, CHIOCCA. Thank you so much, David.
You got it, Chaka. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. Have a wonderful weekend. Come to training at 11 a.m. What a great guy. Congratulations on your book. That's right. The 50 Days to Better Investment, the Chaka Network. Check it out. Support Black and Brown women and men. Let's all appreciate the commonalities between us and then appreciate the differences as well. Let's not separate ourselves. A tree has no branches. I'll keep on quoting it. Let all things come to us in unexpected hours. I love that. You're going to hear that from me again. Anyway, everyone, it's been an extraordinary week so far, but we still got training. We got Clubhouse at 11:30 for Q&A. We got IG live training. It's networking on social media, especially Clubhouse. Join me 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you missed anything, you can just email me. It's all pinned below. David@dmeltzer.com. You can join my text community, 949-298-2905. You can email me. Like I said, you just download the playbook. Everything's on there. The playbook's one of the top podcasts. Just like it, share it. It's featured on Spotify, on Entrepreneur, every platform. The playbook. Check out my podcast. You'll really like it. Let me take one quick question before we have to go. Remember, 2-Minute Drill is airing tonight, Amazon Prime and Bloomberg Television. Check it out. Let's see here. I just joined. What's the book about? That book, the 50 Days to a Better Investment, is Invest in Yourself, or Connected to Goodness is how to clear the interference from what you already have with possibilities to probabilities, probabilities to perspective. All right, everyone, come join me in 2 hours and 24 minutes, free training, 11 a.m. Pacific. Check out 2-Minute Drill tonight. Email me if you need anything. Download the playbook. Share it, like it. It's on every platform. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Text me, 949-298-2905. And remember, most importantly, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. We'll see you later today. Thanks.